What's up, guys? Welcome back to the shop, and we are making some progress here. I just want to say, if you're doing a project like this and you get overwhelmed, that's part of it. I mean, that is part of working on a vehicle. So I watched a video and they're talking about how overwhelming it can be. Like, I took this thing down to bare frame and it is a lot. I got a bin full of parts from 3 years ago that I got to try and sort out. So what we're doing to alleviate the being overwhelmed, gonna work on one thing at a time. So today I'm gonna work on the fuel tank because we have a new fuel system going in this car for the 540. We needed a big fuel pump, and I wanted one that would basically run the car, whether it's naturally aspirated or if we decide to boost it in the end, it'll have the fuel. So that's what we're up to. We wanted one fuel system that we could regulate, so that's what we did. Holley hooked us up with one of their retro tanks and then one of their dual fuel pump systems. So we have to do a little bit of modifications to the tank to make it work. And then we can get our brackets made for under here, because I think we have to drop the tank about 1 inch for clearance. But yeah, it's coming along. We can see a light at the end of the tunnel, so it's just a matter of kind of piecing it back together. So our interior, it's all dry now. Once I get the door bars done, then I can paint the rest of the cage and we can put the interior back together. There's no other modifications going on inside the car, so yeah, we're gonna work on the fuel tank today and we'll get that hopefully done so we can install it in the car. And we got to paint it as well, so we'll probably give it a scuff and a paint. So I'm gonna get that on the bench here and I'll show you what we got. All right, so here's what we got. And I actually forgot, it is already coated and it's kind of nice. It matches the gray that we put on the frame. So yeah, we might not have to paint this, but so essentially it has everything that the old tank had. It mounts the same, and it's basically the same it's basically the same tank, except we need to make the hole bigger for our pumps. So when I'm done this car, I will have a parts list basically of everything I've put into this, so you guys can see what's gone into it. So this fuel tank, it's the Holley Sniper EFI stock replacement fuel tank. It's 20-gallon tank. It's a stock tank for 71, 72 Chevelle, Malibu, Monte Carlo. They're all the same. So it's set up for stock. We're far from stock. We are running a bigger fuel pump and all that fun stuff. So I'm gonna get that out. I'll show you what it is. I'll tell you what it is, and then we'll see how we gotta modify this tank. Okay, so this is the pump that we are running. It is a Holley dual 450 liters per hour. It's an in-tank retrofit, so we do have to cut a hole for it, and we just got to make sure that we have enough length here. So another thing that it came with is we got hydromatting, and basically what that does is it keeps your pumps from running dry. So if you got fuel sloshing around, we don't have a baffled tank, so if we do any sliding or like decide to do drifting with the car, which I don't think we'll do, it keeps a constant level of fuel for your pump, so you always have fuel if it's sloshing around. It's like a reserve. So yeah, I'm gonna figure out what I need for this, make sure I have it all, and then we will start figuring out if this will fit in this tank, or if we have to do some welding on it, what we got to do. So this is actually the hydromat, so it's a lot bigger than where is it? Than the little socks that come with it. That being said, it's also a little bit thicker too. So you can use this pump for a depth of 7 inches to 12. So I need to basically break this part off on both sides to get this down as low as I need, and it bunches it all up. Not super excited about it, but we'll see what we can do here. Okay, so we need a 4-inch hole here for our pump. Now, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna drill these spot welds out so that I can mark 4 inches perfect. I don't have a 4-inch hole saw, and I might have to build this up. We might have to, so I want to get this flange off here, and then we'll go from there. All right, so we drilled the spot welds. I drilled through there. Not a big deal because we got to cut around here anyways. The nice thing, this is a brand new tank, so I will be able to get it cleaned out, all these shavings, so that's not a concern. If there was fuel in this tank, then we'd definitely be a little more worried. We'd actually be flushing the tank out too, so well, there's a fucking gouge there. I don't know where. That's not good. We might have to fix that. These shipping guys, can I just say, if you're a FedEx guy, a UPS guy, take some care in what you're shipping. Like look at this box, just dented to heck. Like, it really pisses you off when you get something and the box is all dented, and then you look at your product and it's, yeah. So we'll have to see once we get the hole cut and I can get my hand in there, we'll have a look and see if that gouge is pushed through or what, because last thing I need is a leaky fuel tank, a brand new leaky fuel tank. But okay, so I'm gonna mark my 4-inch hole, and then I'm gonna use my body saw for cutting this, just because I don't have a hole saw big enough, and I don't have the right size. I don't have another hole saw that fits this hole to use as a guide, so we'll just mark it and then we'll use a body saw. So if you're like me, you keep every single grinding disc you have, and it comes in handy because they're usually wore perfectly round. So I got a grinding disc. It's a 5-inch disc, but it's wore down to 3 7/8. So we can put that on there and trace around it, and then cut on the outside of the line, and that'll give us a 4-inch. So I'm gonna get that cut and we will come back. So we got our hole cut now. We can measure our depth good now, and if this isn't deep enough, then we will add an inch to it. So we'll see. So it will mount just like that. Our hoses will come out the back good. We might have to just dent it a little bit there. Like, it'll pull up a little bit with the seal, but yeah, that's how it'll look. I just set it in here just to see what it would basically look like. And I don't know how I'm gonna get those hydromats on there as well. Like, it was a tight fit for that in there. So yeah, well, I'm gonna pull this back out and we'll see what we can do here. All right, so we got it installed. We got a gasket on here. These are all torqued down to 5-inch or 60-inch pounds. So this thing is ready to go in and be fitted. I think I'm gonna sand it and spray it with some undercoat, just because this isn't a very good coating. I don't know, but yeah. And it comes with, the kit comes with these they call them spacers actually. So we will need a little bit more room from that one. I'm gonna go look at my stock one and see how much room it gives, but that's her. That's it. So that's putting together one of these tanks. It was super easy. I cut out the hole and vacuumed out all the shavings, and then I reached my hand in there and wiped up the dust. So really not that hard. I think on a scale of 1 to 10, probably I don't know, like a 3 to do this. The hardest part was getting those hydromats in because they're a lot bigger. But yeah, so that's done. I'm just gonna run and check out my other tank, and we will yeah, maybe put this thing up in there today. I did get my new shocks as well, and I got my swing outs for my my doors, so we can work on one of those things today, and that'll probably run out the day. So it's a good day when you can cross some stuff off the list. Here's our stock tank, and that's pretty low. So we're gonna have to put this tank in and see, or not this tank, we're gonna have to put the other tank in and see kind of what kind of clearance we have. But I will need my locking fuel cap for it. But it's the exact same tank, I just don't know what clearance I have right here. I don't like cutting holes for unnecessary things, but that hole is necessary. So basically, we had to cut that because our fuel pump is gonna sit right here. And with that extra height of it, it actually hits the floor and I can't get the straps on. And I'd like to use the straps that came with the car. So it was either make new straps or cut a hole. So I cut a hole. So we'll try and get this thing in there. I don't know if, I hope I measured right, but I guess we'll find out. It will be an adventure together. So we got the tank in, and like I said, the pump sticks out the floor, and actually, like, it's sitting in here pretty tight. I haven't even tightened the thing down yet. There's only like 2 threads on it, and it's in there good. But I'm thinking what I might do is make this a removable piece. Like, if we use some angle iron around this and then build a lid for it that a guy can take it off, and if you have to work on it, is my idea. Or maybe bolt on, I don't know. We'll make something here, or just weld it up and let my wiring guy deal with it when he shows up. But yeah, I'm gonna figure that out and we'll go from there. Okay, so that's what we got. Actually, it'll make it super easy for filling this diff up too. We'll throw a few more welds on it, and then we'll seam seal all of it. And yeah, we'll put a seal, like a gasket on the top, but that'll give access to all of the fuel lines and the pump itself. So it's not something I was wishing I had to do, as we got lots to do. There's never a shortage of things to do on this car, but yeah, I like doing stuff like this where I get to fab up something. The only crappy thing is I don't have light sheet metal around here, and it's a pretty far drive for me to go get anything, so I've just been using what I have. So yes, this piece in here, it is a lot heavier than it needs to be, but I also figured, hey, if I build it heavier, I can throw stuff back here. It's gonna stiffen up the trunk actually too, and make things a little bit better. But I'm not worried about weight with this car. It's a big old 4-door, so it's gonna weigh a lot anyways. But yeah, we'll see. So yeah, I'm gonna get the rest of that welded out, and when I get the cover put on it, I'll show you what it looks like. And there we go. So I can remove this top plate and get at my fuel pump. So that's done now, and yeah. So yeah, this dual fuel pump from Holley, it's a retrofit, and it's a stock replacement tank. But the nice thing about it is it's gonna provide all the fuel we need for whether we continue to run NA or if we boost this engine. So yeah, I did have to do a little bit of work. They send foam with it so that you can space it down, but I'd rather have it up higher, just being on gravel, stuff like that. So I opted to cut my floor and put a plate there. I don't think you'd have to do that, or if you're not even running that fuel pump, you don't have to. That tank bolts right in, stock location. It comes with everything to put all your stuff in it. So yeah, so that's pretty well done. So thanks for tuning in, guys. Be sure to like and subscribe. Yeah, we're trying to build a 9-second car here. It's coming along, we're getting there. And yeah, we're gonna finish up some of the other stuff on it. We should be hanging sheet metal here by the end of the week, I hope. Rob's coming back too. Rob's coming back, he'll be here too. So thanks, guys.